Welcome back to the land, everybody. It's been about a week since I've been up here, and I've got my trusty sidekick with me again this week. He heard we had a squirrel problem, so he's volunteered to be the official squirrel chaser. So I just did a walk around the outside of the shed, and I didn't see any big holes in the soffits or anything, so that's a good sign, but I'm holding my breath. So messy in here from last time I was here. I can't tell if they did any damage or not. Well, that was the questionable area up there. Well, I think it looks okay. Maybe the steel wool and the mesh actually worked. All right, well, we got a lot of work to do. The girls are coming up tomorrow, so we've got a ton of stuff to do before they get here. But luckily, I think I have the right tools and the right supplies this trip so that I can get a lot accomplished. All right, well, let's unload the van as usual, and then we're gonna hit the chore board, and then we're gonna get to work. Well, here's what's on tap for this next couple days. I'm just going to recheck all the eaves that I put steel wool in. So the electrical boxes that I hung last time were the blue plastic ones, and obviously I have to use the metal boxes because I'm using metal clad cable now to protect it from squirrel and mouse chews. So we need to pull down the ones we hung and put new ones up. We need to finish drilling the wire runs. There's a couple more gaps I need to put some mesh in and some steel wool as well. Hang the new light boxes, hang the new fan box, wire those boxes with the lights. Fire pit lights, they fell down because a branch broke them, so I'm going to try to fix them. Spacer boards. So on the windows, this isn't exactly probably construction code here, how they did the windows without the support boards, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and nail some studs in here and try to frame that in a little bit, if nothing else, just to run our wire runs and keep them clean. And also we need to put the studs and build those out so they're even with that stud wall as well, just that when we hang our sheetrock or whatever we put up there, it's going to be flush. So we need to do that. So we need to cut spacer boards and then put our 2x4s on them as well. And then, of course, finish hanging the insulation. And if that all gets done, then we are going to try to put some poly up on the ceiling. So stay tuned. You can see the last time I was up, I ran out of steel wool. So I couldn't pack that crack right there. So I just stapled up the mesh just to try to keep the honest ones out. I got to fill that crack too. And then I ran out of staples. So I need to pull that spray foam out and probably put some steel wool in those last two eaves too. All right, that one looks pretty good. Well, all right, everybody, it's time for bed. I've just been running some wires tonight, and the biggest thing is trying to decide where the lights and everything is going to be. What's going to be 12 volt, what's going to be 110. But the biggest problem that I have found tonight is I have mouse droppings in the insulation, and I definitely hear something scrambling around up in there. So I don't know if the squirrel got back in, or if a squirrel's trying to get out, or if it's just mice, but it sounds like they're chewing wood, which is not good. So tomorrow we are going to take down that First piece of insulation, this one right here. That's where I've been hearing something up in there. And we're going to see what we got going on. Not super happy about it. You know, when you build a cabin out in the middle of the woods, and when you have a shed that you're trying to build into a cabin in the middle of the woods, it's probably to be expected that you're going to have issues. But I mean, I haven't even sealed the walls in yet and I'm already having issues. So tomorrow I'm going to go into town. I need some switches and some outlets, and I think I'm going to get decon, and it's going to be war. I don't know what else to do really. Otherwise I'm just throwing money down the toilet. So. All right, well, I'm tired. I'm going to hit the sack. River's been in the bed sleeping for a while. So I will catch you guys in the morning. Good morning. Well, good morning to you, River. Hello. Hello. Starting to cool down a little bit at night. Well, I did a lot of thinking last night about where do I go from here with this whole squirrel thing. And I think I'm just going to try to put some decon and some rat poison and stuff in there. I looked again at all the seams and I can't find an obvious spot where he'd be getting in. But first off, I need to run into town and get some supplies. And some decon and stuff. And then I'm going to pull that piece of insulation back when I get, or pull it down when I get back. Ugh. All right, well, let's get into town and get that over with. We got a lot of work to do before the girls get here. And I want to have most of that shack cleaned up decent. So we better get on it. See this earlier, maybe just because the angle was bad. But found this, and I don't know if this is from before or if this is new. We are going to try to plug that up as best as we can, and we'll have to monitor that one. Hopefully he doesn't just chew the wood around the hole is what I'm kind of afraid he'll do. Hopefully that does the trick. Hate to say it, but that squirrel probably isn't going to live through the weekend if it shows its face. It's war, baby! War! Well, I would guess it won't be too long and the girls will be here, so we should probably clean some of this up because they're going to sleep in here tonight. We probably shouldn't tell them about the mouse issue. So let's just keep that between us, okay? Because if they found out that the ceiling had mice in it, there's no way they would sleep in here. So we're just gonna kind of keep that on the lowdown. So I put mouse poison in all the soffits. So that should take care of them. I feel pretty good about the seams. I've checked them over and over, and I don't know, maybe the mice came in. There was that corner piece that we put that steel wool in yesterday, and I think they probably were getting in there. Which makes me think, how would they get back out last night? Maybe that's what they were trying to do. But I pulled back that insulation and it looked okay, so I don't know. I'm assuming they're out at this point, and if there is any in here, hopefully the poison takes care of them. And hopefully all the cracks being sealed will help too. So, all right, well, we better get busy here. Cardboard's pretty clean on the bottom side. I could probably put that down for the girls, for the mattress. You doing, River Dog? River Dog, you goofball. You goofball. Can you just come out of there? We packed in here, as you can see. We got a 15-foot canoe, a 12-foot kayak, a 105-pound German Shepherd, but the lake we're going to is only 1.5 miles from my property, and a mile of it is on Forest Service road. So I've got the back doors tied halfway open, and Em and Anika are following me in their car, make sure nothing falls out of the back of the van. I gotta make me a trailer for hauling this stuff, but it'll work. Well, River Dog's not super happy though. It's cramping his style. He's trying to get his head out the window, and it's a little tougher with the canoe in the way. The plan is we're gonna do a little kayaking, canoeing, and Anika wants to try to catch some fish, so we'll maybe try to catch some sunnies or something. It's already 2:30 in the afternoon, so I don't think we'll be out here all day long, but it is a beautiful day. But all right, I'm almost to the access here, so I'm gonna sign off for now. Oh, you ripped it right out of his mouth. Cast up by them weeds once.
I don't even like this.
Huh? Cast back in that pocket. Like that corner. Along the weeds. That's good. Feel attention. Pop it. It's probably what had you over there too. That was too small to take it down.
It's the same one.
It's not a good sign, Michelle.
Why is that?
Look up.
Well, I've seen it, but what about it?
They're vultures.
Well, yeah, obviously there's some. Yeah, I think they probably have their sights on something else. But why are they over here?
Maybe they know something we don't know.
There's a lot of them.
Isn't there bear? She had to get it a life jacket because she had trusted it all after last time.
Well, good morning. We just all got up, had some breakfast. I made some pancakes for Anika. Right now she's just chilling in the car, and Em and I are going to
I already don't like that.
look at some stain here for the shack. Hey, River Dog.
Do you have like a rag or something that's, or paper towels that could be wiped on each time? I mean, it's like yellow, cream. This isn't like stained like I'm used to. I mean, that dark one might be okay. That's the, like this one. That's wood tone cedar.
Well, I spent the afternoon working on some odds and ends after Anika and Em went home. I wanted to finish insulating the ceiling and getting the lights finished up in there. So I ended up putting 3 bulbs in the ceiling, and I ended up wiring in a fan box. So my intent is to either run a 120 fan off of either an inverter or generator potentially, but I wanted that positioned over where the wood stove is going to go, just because that'll either help push down the heat, or even in the summer when it's hot in here, it's centrally located, so hopefully it gets some breeze moving. So I didn't show you guys my wiring project on purpose because I know less about wiring than I do about construction, and you know how little I know about construction. So the very last thing I wanted was for anybody to see me hooking up this wire and think that I knew what I was doing, so I just completely did not even video it. So I have two different things going on. My outlets in here are going to be 120, and my lights are going to be 12 volt. So again, you know, the outlets would be used off of an inverter, or if I wanted to hook the generator up. So lots of different things kind of going on. But I did go with the MC cable just to protect it from the mice. Em and Anika said that they heard the mice in the ceiling again last night, or squirrel, or whatever it is. I don't think it's the red squirrel that's back. I think it's either a mouse or maybe even a nocturnal flying squirrel, which I do have here. I don't know, but I did put mouse poison out, so hopefully that will take effect and will eliminate the problem. But all right, so I've got the lights hooked up to the battery. Let's see if this is gonna work. Hey, all right. Well, in case you're wondering, this light over here is purposely on a switch, so that this would be kind of the bedroom area, and this would be more of the kitchen kind of area. Although, it's, you know, it's hard to tell how much light it puts out right now because it's fairly light out, but once we get a ceiling on and some sheetrock, it should be more than adequate. All right, so I've got a fair amount done. I think we're gonna take a little break, and I'm out of insulation, so I need more insulation. I need some 2x4s for the corners. And I just have a couple, maybe one more thing to do on the wiring project, and then I'm done with that. You know, I talked about sealing all the gaps in the roof, but look at these gaps. You could drive a truck through them. So I'm just gonna put some 1x boards up just to kind of help keep the honest ones out until I can put a real door in here. All right, that looks good. At least from my vantage point. Yeah, it's better than it was anyway. Well, I think it's gonna rain, and I think I'm gonna go grab something to eat. So I think I'm gonna drive into town to do it. You wanna come with? Well, we made it back from town, and we made it back from dinner and the brewery, but I'm glad that you tuned in and that you stayed with me. So here's what we got going for the rest of the night. As you can see, I got the 2 lights here, but they're really not quite enough. So I'm probably gonna have to use the 3rd light, but I need to wire that in and then add that to the system. And then I also got another batch of insulation and some 2x4s because we need to frame in those corners of the shack so that we can, when we put sheetrock or paneling or whatever up, we have something to nail it into. So that's what we got going tonight. So hang out with me and River Dog, and let's get some projects done. Oh, and then we're gonna check the game cams too. All right, let's get these 2x4s put, you know what, let's get some insulation put up because that looks like we're doing something and it makes me feel like we have progress. So let's do that first, and then when we get to the corners, we'll put the 2x4s in, and then we'll wire that light in if it's getting too dark. So. shack is public. What? Well, I think we made decent progress this trip, but it's early in the morning and River said he wants to go home, so we're going to hit the road. Let's take a look at the chore board. Drill wire runs, I think we are done with that. Measure door opening, yes. Mow, sort lumber pile, nope. Steel wool soffit caps, hang fan backs, wire by. Put the 1x on the floor. We had a very productive weekend. All right, we're gonna call it a day. Oh, I need to get a couple more things out of here. And then we're gonna hit the road. So thank you guys. We'll see you soon.